Okay, shalom everybody. Today we're going to go into the next melacha of LASH, of kneading. And we said yesterday that there's things that may be considered as LASH after tochen, because we talked at the end about tuna salad and egg salad, and both soft material that we add liquids to. And so first we'll do the actual malacha, which is kneading of flour with water. So the malacha of lash refers to the act of kneading, forming dough out of flour and water. By the way, another connection to Pesach, because it said that they did the lisha, the kneading of the dough, but they didn't have enough time to bake it. So again, another connection to Pesach. So it's incredible hashgacha that we're learning it now. So, however, it also includes mixing any liquid with flour to form dough. So, if you know, there's a opinion about rolls that are not hamotzi that they serve on the plane. My rabbis specifically are against that because you're making your meal on it. And yes, according to halacha, maybe because it's sweet, it's made with orange juice or apple juice, it may be considered mezonot, but if that is the main substance of the meal, and you can ask for more, then I think that's wrong to make a mezonot on it. But again, just for this purpose, mixing any liquid with flour to form dough. Even if the liquid used is viscous, like honey or mayonnaise, it is still forbidden to mix it with flour. As long as one binds the flour and forms dough, this is considered lash, the av melacha, the category of the creative labor. Along the same lines, if one mixes water with dried earth in order to make bricks or spackle to plug holes in a wall, or cement, of course, he also transgresses lash. One may not perform even a single component of the kneading process. Therefore, one may not pour water onto flour. Additionally, after dough has been formed, one may not shape it. So those are the two. So the water is the agent, but the kneading, even if it's just shaping or moving it around, is already lash. Lash involves forming something new with characteristics that differ from those of its component parts. Flour on its own and water on its own cannot rise and cannot be baked. Only after they are mixed together can they be made into bread and cookies. Similarly, dried earth or spackle on their own and water on its own cannot be used for building. You can't just take dirt and plug it into the wall. Well, only after they are mixed together can they be used to form bricks or to plug a hole in the wall. The Torah prohibition of lash is limited to a thick mixture. Rabbinically, it is also prohibited to make a loose mixture, as will be explained in the next halacha. However, if the quantity of the solid added to the liquid is so minimal that it dissolves, for example, tea or sugar or coffee, etc., the liquid retains its form and no type of mixture results, then there is no prohibition of lash. Therefore, one may add coffee or sugar or saccharin to water, as the granules do not form a mass in the water. Even if you pour 4 teaspoons of sugar, which I don't recommend, it still will not form something thick. Eventually, it will dissolve. In addition, one may prepare infant formula by mixing the powder with water, since the mixture does not form a mass. Rather, the liquid retains its form and can be drunk from a bottle. Thus, there is no problem of lash. One should prepare coffee in a kli shlishi to avoid violating the malcha of bishul, but that was when we're talking about actual beans, because they are only dried, they're not cooked. But the instant coffee, that's not what he's talking about. As we have seen, the Torah prohibition of lash applies to forming a thick mixture. This means that many discrete particles become one solid mass that will not flow or spread out if left on a plate or a bowl. So there's a law in physics that all liquids eventually are at the same level, and you can see it with different dishes that you pour into two, and one is higher than the other, but the level of the water will be the same. But once it has this mass of the dough or of anything else, it will not do that action. And so in contrast, it is not forbidden by Torah law to form a loose mixture that can be poured from utensil to utensil and that spreads outward if left on a plate or bowl. This is because making such a mixture does not involve kneading, but only stirring. However, since one might mistakenly assume that if one may make a looser batter, he may also make a thick dough, the sages created a fence around the Torah and forbade forming a loose mixture, but one may make such a mixture with a shinui that serves as a reminder that there is a prohibition involved, like we went to our rule that usually shinui is already allowed when it's rabbinical. I'm not going to use the word only, but that's somehow stuck in our head. Only rabbinical, but it's that's not true. It's just that rabbis meant when they made that decree, they also said that with a shinui it would be okay, ensuring that no one will end up making a thick mixture. Um, the shinui may be in the order of the ingredients are added to the mixing bowl. If normally the dry ingredients are added first, followed by the wet ingredients, the wet ingredients should be added first, followed by the dry ingredients. So to give the example that we said yesterday about egg salad, if you put the mayonnaise first into the bowl, and or the yeah, or any other kind of liquid, and you put that in first, and afterwards you put the eggs or the tuna or something else, that is allowed. And when following this procedure, one must make sure to add the liquid all at once so that a thick mixture will not be formed in the process of making a loose one. Some maintain that it is necessary to incorporate an additional shinui during the stirring stage as long as the mixture is not stirred as vigorously as one does during the week. Others are more stringent and require shinui during the stirring as well. For example, instead of stirring the batter using a circular motion, one may stir it in straight lines, so it's called shtiva erev, from side to side, like the weaving process of lines that are lengthwise and widthwise, from side to side or perpendicularly. Alternatively, one might mix the batter with one's finger by shaking the bowl or by pouring the batter from bowl to bowl. Lechatchila, it is proper to comply with all the poskim and change both the order of the ingredients and the way the batter is stirred. When the ingredients are not usually added in any particular order, the dry ingredients should be added first, followed by the wet ingredients. Additionally, the way the mixing is done should be changed. One may add liquid to a thick mixture to make it thinner, since this is the opposite of kneading, and it figures, but just in case we should point it out, kneading leads to discrete units coalescing, while adding water weakens the cohesiveness of the component parts. And according to this, water may be added to raw tahini, since that makes it more liquid. However, some prohibit doing so, since during the process there is a stage in which the mixture becomes a bit harder. Nevertheless, halacha is in practice follows those who are lenient, since that eventual result is a loose mixture. Additionally, since the sesame seeds in the tahini were ground and mixed before Shabbat, they're put usually into oil in the can. According to many of the prohibitions of LASH, no longer applies. In order to avoid any doubt, it is proper to mix with a shinoi. And so we'll stop here and we'll open up for questions.